It is a mild summer evening. An audience of over 100, well protected against the light rain, are taking their places for a performance of Voyages, set in the grounds of Kingston Lacy. This play is the culmination of 2 months' work involving 4 Wimborne schools, the Dorset Theatre and Education team, artists, and an enthusiastic group of people in the community.
Beneath the surface, the pulse still beats, beats, beats.
Echoes.
Echoes. Trapped in stone and leaf.
Echoes.
Echoes.
Since it was given to the National Trust in 1981, Kingston Lacy has been the setting for many stimulating learning experiences for children of all ages. And there have been opportunities too for adults to learn more about the heritage of this extensive estate.
A journey begins in this courtyard, a path through re-remembered lives. Follow as we sing up the past, carolling stories of people who walk this way. Our task to guide you in the shadow of this stone grey house.
The shadow of the stone grey house. The shadow of the stone grey house. The shadow of the stone grey house.
Beneath the surface, the pulse still beats, echoes trapped in stone and leaf.
It is the role of the chorus, played by A-level theatre arts students, to set the scene for this play, which travels through time and place. They will lead the audience through the park on a journey lasting about 2 hours.
Step through the circle. Let's have no unwilling groans.
We'll hope you'll return to 1991.
Enriched by the stories we'll tell and show.
Enough! The circle is starting to turn back.
To 1905 at Kingston Lacy.
The servants are about to start work.
The servants are about to start work.
The servants are about to start work.
The servants are about to start work. The servants are about to start work.
The inspiration for this project was the rich diversity of Kingston Lacy's history, not just the grandeur and wealth of the 17th century house and its contents, but quieter, more hidden stories. We took as our starting point the day in 1905 when King Edward VII visited the house to take tea with Henrietta Banks and her 3 children. In recent years, local schools have worked at Kingston Lacy using real characters to stimulate role play, giving the children a vivid opportunity to put themselves into the shoes of people living and working there at the beginning of this century. In this first scene, we watch the servants busily preparing for this auspicious day. Silver needs cleaning, rugs need shaking, the garden needs tidying. These children create a collage of movement and drama, depicting not only the servants' intense work, but the mixed feelings of the Banks children, confident Rafe, apple of everyone's eye, and sweet Daphne, as they prepare to meet the king.
Now your bell, Master Rafe. Oh, beautiful, lovely.
I feel really nervous about meeting the king, Miss Tismarsh.
Now don't worry yourself, Miss Daphne. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Are you nervous, Rafe?
Why should I be nervous? I'm Master Rafe. When I was born, church bells were rung and the whole of Wimborne cried with joy. I'm Bishop of the Fleet and Admiral of Bishop of Wimborne. Well, I'm better than some king, anyway.
Oh, Rafe, you do go on.
And Viola, the daughter who longed to be a son. She wants her favourite nursery maid, Alice, who brushes her hair so softly, unlike the fierce Nurse Stanley.
You're pulling. Why do you do my hair anyway? Why can't Alice brush it? Where is Alice?
I don't know. I'm sure, Miss Viola.
What's wrong, Winnie? Well, you know where she is, don't you? No one tells me anything.
Winnie? Winnie, come here this minute. That is the second time I've caught you simply standing there. What is the matter with you, girl? Is Miss Viola ready?
Yes, Nurse Stanley.
She had better be. Winnie, look at those shoes. And Elizabeth, what are you doing? Give me the brush. See, I shall have to do it myself. Keep still, Miss Viola.
You're pulling. Where's Alice?
Be quiet, girl. You won't be seeing the king this afternoon if you don't behave better.
In Pamela Watkins' book, Her Kingston Lacy Childhood, Viola remembers Alice fleetingly. She recalls her kind gentleness and her sad death at 17 of appendicitis.
Have you seen Alice? Alice Maud Baker. I've been looking for her everywhere.
Our story interweaves the historical facts of the king's visit with an imaginative journey taken by Viola and Alice on that day. Here at the front of the house, the audience watches servants and family greet the king and his entourage.
Welcome to Kingston Lacy, sire. May I present our dear young squire, my young son Rafe, my pride and joy. You must admit he's a strapping boy.
Hooray, hooray, hip hip, hooray, 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 hooray.
And these are my daughters, Daphne and Viola. Try and manage a little smile, dears. Don't forget your curtsies. Down.
Aww.
Oh dear, Viola, you're such a clown.
70 years later, in her memoirs, Viola remembered those moments of humiliation as she fluffed her curtsy to everyone's amusement and her mother's shame. Our story imagines her being drawn away from those regal formalities into the freedom of the great green cloak of Parkland as she hears the distant voice of Alice Maud Baker calling.
I can hear Alice.
I know I'm only a servant girl, and I'm not ashamed to say I belong to the ranks of those that toil for a living day by day to
Here under the chestnut tree, Viola finds Alice putting away her servant's uniform as though she has no more use for it and is preparing to go on a mysterious journey. Alice's song is a verse recently found in the attic of a cottage on the estate and had been written down by a real servant at Kingston Lacy at the beginning of the century.
Alice Maud Baker. So there you are. Hiding under the trees indeed. Whatever would Nanny say? I've been looking for you everywhere. I am talking to you, Alice. I needed you to brush my hair. Nanny always pulls it with her hard hands. As hard as claws. As eagle's claws. Tugging and tearing, and no one would tell me where you were. Just like no one tells me when Father is coming home from India. They all keep secrets from me. Where were you, Alice Maud Baker? I am jolly cross. Everyone's being so beastly to me. No one takes any notice of me. It's so unfair. All I ever hear is Master Rafe, Master Rafe, Master Rafe. When Rafe was born, all the bells in Wimborne Minster were rung, and the whole world cried with joy. Rafe is the youngest of the three, but he is the most important. Why? Mother says he is the Bishop of Wimborne, the Admiral of the Fleet, and the heir to all the Kingston Lacey estate. He is just like a king. There, that's it. That's it. All gone. All gone.
Has the king come to Kingston Lacey today, Miss Viola?
Why, of course. How silly you are, Alice. Everyone has come to see him. I'm going to tell you a secret. Promise not to tell a soul.
I promise.
The king's an old meanie. Do you know what he did? He laughed at me. Had to do my horrid, stupid, clumsy curtsy, and the king laughed. Then the others laughed too. Oh, I hate being a girl. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Oh, I wish I was a boy so I could be like Rafe. I could be Bishop of Wimborne, Admiral of the Fleet, and the heir to Kingston Lacey. I could even be king and make people bow and curtsy to me.
Poor Miss Viola.
Don't laugh at me, Alice Maud Baker, or I'll call Nurse Stanley and order her to dismiss you.
Oh, it's far too late for that now, Miss Viola.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means what it means, Miss Viola.
Oh, now you're talking in silly riddles, Alice. What is that thing hanging there?
Something my grandmother found. Something very old. Something she gave me. For good luck.
Alice tells Viola the history of the stone, how it had once belonged to the Celts who lived near Badbury, how her grandmother found it and believed in its healing powers, and gave it to Viola to protect her at work, but she was asked to remove it.
They told me I had to take it off. Nanny's rules. The strange thing is that my stomach pains began soon after that time. It's time. I must go now, Miss Viola. It's time to start my journey. I must leave you now, Miss Viola.
Where are you going?
On a long, long journey.
Have you been given permission? Alice! Please, Alice Maud Baker, tell me where you're going.
I can't tell you that, miss. But it's a journey we all must make one day.
Can I come with you?
No, but you can set me on the path.
And please tell me more stories of the stone, Alice. You do know more, don't you?
I'll make a bargain with you. We'll walk together up the hill, and I'll tell you 2 stories of the stone. But then we must part. Do you agree?
Yes.
In the year 56 BC, a tribe of Celtic people lived in these parts, close to their hill fort at Badbury Rings. They called themselves the Juratrigs, which means the dwellers by the sea. One evening, they met together in a hill close by to celebrate their summer festival, the festival of Lugnasa.
And so Alice and the Healing Stone take the story back to the time when the Celts lived in this area of Dorset.
We are the Juratrigs! We are the Juratrigs! We can fight you anytime, all day long!
Here Here on the splendid swathe of grass beneath overhanging cedar trees, the Duratrigues, school children aged from 4 to 8, with their leader Maeve, prepare for their summer festival.
I ask for the wisdom of this magic stone to protect and guide our tribe. Stone of the golden eagle, give us strength and comfort.
And then Maeve's husband Manus returns from market with news of a tribe of strangers called the Veneti, newly arrived from Gaul, wounded and exhausted from their encounter with the Romans. The Duratrigues debate whether they should trust these travellers and welcome them into their camp.
Friends, listen! As it came closer, this shape we thought was a monster, we could see it was a boat. A huge boat.
Just a minute!
When these children first visited Kingston Lacy to work on their scenes, they were enthralled by this image of the forlorn Veneti approaching. It was the time of the Gulf War, and this experience at this particular time gave them a valuable insight into the realities of oppression. The Veneti's story captured their imagination.
Conquer nations!
And their work with the older students led to rich and spontaneous performances from the younger children, as well as the benefits of different ages working together. After they had listened to their story, each child was asked to consider whether he or she would feel able to trust these people, and the scene contains their questions and concerns.
Take the talking stick.
Were you a rich country once?
They showed tenderness and caring in their role play with the students.
I trust these people because they are cold and poor and their clothes are all torn. I trust them because they look cold and hungry and we should look after them.
The scene ends with the children deciding to welcome the Veneti, and they celebrate at their festival by retelling the legend of the stone, a story devised by the children themselves. This ancient stone provided a useful link between the stories. It was the stone Alice's grandmother found. Now it is part of a Celtic ritual, and soon we will see it as the wise woman's healing stone. Over 80 first school children performed in this scene. Their high level of involvement was the result of excellent preparatory work undertaken both on-site and in their own schools. Working outside in a real place had a liberating effect on the children's performance and helped them identify with events and people. One of the aims of this project was to bring together a wide range of people, some more experienced in drama work than others, but all working together towards a unique piece of theatre, challenging themselves and their audience with their portrayal of history. They became known as the Community Group and met weekly to devise the 2 medieval scenes at the Moot Court, at which Alicia Paintier was tried for witchcraft in 1232.
Hear ye, hear ye! I, Robert Shaw, reeve of this manor, do hereby call ye draw together for the moot, for the villages of Abbott Street, Cowgrove and Stone. You are all called to bear witness to John Browning, steward of Kingston Lacy in the reign of King Henry III.
Alicia became the central character in these scenes and is shown as a wise woman living in the woods with her children, away from the scorn of the villagers. A couple bring their sick child to her, and Alicia heals her with ancient herbal remedies and by laying on the healing stone.
Tonight, rock of old you should house, make her well tonight.
But she is still tried for witchcraft.
I, as steward, will give her a fair trial. Ordeal by fire.
And so ends another story. And for Alice too, time is running out.
Viola! Viola! It's time! Time! It's nearly time!
And her last duty is to send Viola home.
Thank you for the stories. Are you going now?
Yes. It's time. It's time for me to go on. And it's time for you to go back.
Why? No one's missed me.
Yes, they have. They're looking for you. Winnie and the others.
How do you know?
They're worried about you. They want you to come home.
Really?
Yes, Viola. Really.
Alice gives Viola the precious healing stone and sends her back to the house for tea.
Remember me sometimes. Remember me sometimes. Remember me sometimes.
The audience follow down the dark avenue of limes, between the cast lining the path, singing the song of the healing stone, their roles now strangely reversed. The journey is nearly over. The journey was a symbol to convey the flow of history, the narrative of stories and the movement of people about a particular landscape, as well as the fictional adventures of two real women. By taking this journey also, the audience drew closer to a sense of place and history. These were moments of great atmosphere, when people spoke of a magical feeling, of being close to these memories.
Viola.
Yes, I'm all right. But where have you been? Mamma is very worried. Strangest thing. It was like a journey, a voyage. Who gave you that stone, miss? Well, I found it under the chestnut tree.
Oh, you are silly, miss. Come on. Miss Viola, Miss Daphne, Winnie, come on in. All gonna miss our lovely tea.
The journey ends in the marquee, with audience and players forming a circle.
Come into the circle.
The story is complete. Beneath the circle, a pulse still beats, echoes trapped in stone and leaf.
Loud and loud the ancient song. You must go on and on and on. You must go on and on and on. You must go on and on and on. We must go on and on and on. We must go on and on and on. We must go on and on and on.
After the performance, the audience were invited to stay on and view some of the work that had been done over preceding weeks. The children also spent an exciting week with environmental artist Julian Davis, working in the grounds. They used their developing knowledge of the Celts and the Edwardian period and of the play's themes to create shapes and structures made from natural objects found there. These activities demonstrate the way that National Trust education programs are being developed at all properties and show the benefit of the cooperation of all the staff, administrator, house staff and gardeners. The sponsors were pleased to reinforce this idea of bringing together a community of interests, of working together to a common end, and have provided an impetus to begin a new production. In these times of change, teachers are finding great support from this close relationship between the Dorset Education Authority and the National Trust. An evaluation of the project is now available, which we believe will encourage further liaison between schools and the community and help promote collaboration, which will be of benefit for all.